Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA, and today I am joined by Miss Hazel Fantastic is joining me on this unboxing and first impressions video of our package from Crush on Retro. Now, Crush on Retro did send me this package as a sample for review, but all the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. I did not share this content with Crush on Retro prior to publication. They will see this when you do. Now, there is a link for these boots in the description box down below. It is not an affiliate link, so if you decide to buy anything from Crush on Retro, I do not get a percentage of that sale at all. This is simply a sample because a subscriber actually commented on one of my other engineer boot videos and said, hey, have you ever checked out Crush on Retro? I had never heard of them. I dug into them a little bit and found that they have like a wide variety of offerings. So Crush on Retro is a Chinese company. Now, I believe Crush on Retro is solely an online retailer. I do not think they have a brick and mortar store, but they have a wide variety of offerings. So once I checked out the website, I was pretty impressed by what I was seeing. I was seeing a lot of really cool stuff. They focus a lot on like American vintage workwear and military styles. They have accessories, they have belts, they have hats, they have jeans, they have trousers, they have vests, they have shirts, they have belts, they have leather jackets. I think they have denim jackets. They have boots, a wide variety of boots. I think there's like 8 different pages of boots. And a lot of the stuff is like, it's stitched down construction, Goodyear welted. It's like a lot of horsehide stuff. So a lot of the products that they're putting out there are made of some pretty good durable materials, and the prices are fairly reasonable. Like their boots are like $200 to like $400 and some dollars. That's very, very reasonable. Now, seeing as I had never heard of them before, I did a little digging, and really the only place I was finding reviews was on Reddit, which is, if you've seen any of my other videos where I mention Reddit, it is like the armpit of the internet. But basically all the reviews that I was seeing on anything Crush on Retro, mostly it was either boots or jackets, leather jackets. They were all very positive. So I reached out and I said, hey, you know, I'm an American YouTuber, dropped by link, told them a little bit about what I do. They agreed to send me a sample. So here we are. And I've been waiting on this for a while because these boots are MTO. So it took about a month to make them, and then I've been waiting about a week for them to arrive via transit. And they just landed on the doorstep while we were in dinner. And I decided I could not wait until tomorrow, so we're doing it tonight. Hazel, you ready?
Yes, and I love dinner.
And she loved dinner. All right, let's crack this thing on open. Get your paws up here and start ripping it open.
Pause. Yeah.
Here, let me help you.
Paw. Oh, I found a crack.
Go ahead, grip it. Grip it and rip it. Grip it and rip it. All right, I see.
I laughed a little funny, so don't mind if I laugh as did. Huh? Kind of walking one foot.
All right, okay. Ooh.
So I sort
Okay, Miss Hazel Fantastic, are you ready for the reveal?
Yes, I want to open the lid.
Okay, take it. Open the lid.
Bubble.
All right, wait. It's under the boots. We will save the bubble wrap for after the video, okay?
I to trade for my life.
Okay, so these are in dust covers, these little styrofoam dust covers. Here, pull it off.
I'm gonna peep these.
Ooh, wow.
Smell.
You can smell the dye in it. It doesn't have the very deep leather smell.
Smell the dye.
Yeah, it doesn't have the very deep leather smell, but...
Oh, it smells like things. I smell it.
Good. Haha, there we go. So we do have a handwritten note, or handwritten sizing. Engineer boots 301, this is the 301 model, and size 41, which I believe should be about an 8.5 US. I have to actually go back through the emails to find out. I think I saw it handwritten. Yeah, it's handwritten on the inside as well. All right, so I'm not 100% sure if that's a 715, a 25, but that is 301-41. So it's 301 is the style of the boot, and the 41 is the size. So here we have it, the Crush On Retro 301 Engineer Boot. Now they have a couple different versions of the Engineer Boot. This was the one that I liked the most. I felt like it had a little bit lower of a toe, and I believe the difference is mostly the sole. I think they're all about a 10-inch in height. I think this is 9.9 inches, so it's just under 10-inch in height. Now this is the T-Core Cowhide in black. They also do this in a Horween Chrome XL. Now the T-Core Cowhide comes in at $315 USD, and the Chrome XL one is $480. But the Chrome XL, there is a note that you can email them for color options. So on the website, the T-Core only comes in black, which was the color I was interested in. I wanted to check out a black boot. Because I'm getting more into black boots. I got my first other black boot in like 15, 20 years, like a month or two ago. And I wanted a black engineer boot, but I didn't, I just didn't jump on it first. So my other engineer boot is brown, so I went with a black for this one, and I'm really, really liking it. I do really like the look of a black engineer boot with the brown leather midsole and heel stack. Now, you eagle-eye viewers might notice there is a little difference between my boots and the ones currently pictured on the website. Mine feature the Vibram 269 sole, which has unfortunately gone out of stock, so they have switched the 301 to the Vibram 430 lug sole. Now, personally, I prefer the 269 sole, as I like my engineer boots to have a slightly lower profile to them, so I am totally okay that I got the older version of the sole, although I will say it does look pretty badass with the lug sole on there too. Now the insole of this boot, it is removable if I can get it back out. We do have a leather capped insole. It appears to be about 2 mil thick or so, with a blue foam backing. It's not very thick. It's not a lot of insole there, but I'm familiar with the insole game. I can easily swap out, put a different pair of insoles in here if they're not thick enough or comfortable enough. I could probably put my rose anvils in here, pull them out of another one. I have the 3 mil thick Veg Tan Rose Anvil insoles that are pretty nice, that I can probably pop in here. They should fit pretty easily. Now, gotta get this insole back in there. That's the only thing about thin insoles too. It's like, they are so hard to get back in because there's not a lot of structure, so you really have to kind of work it in the boot. Now, the reason I went with the T-Core version is that T-Core, it's going to fade kind of quickly. It's going to show a lot more patina than like a Chrome XL. So this should, in a month or two, start to really show some good fade and some good wears. You'll see some of that brown bleed from underneath, and it's going to take on like a really nice characteristic and look really, really nice. That is, if the boots are any good. We don't know. That's what the real user reviews are for. But again, all the stuff on Reddit was positive. It's Reddit, so take it with a grain of sand, but that's why I'm here. I'm going to test them. I couldn't find anything on the interwebs video style on Crush on Retro, so let's pop them on my paws and see how they feel. Now, I am not going to lie, that was a bit of a struggle. I had to pull the trick that I learned from TJ's video from the shop Vancouver. Take 2 plastic bags, put one at the front for the instep, one at the heel, slide your foot in, and then pull the plastic bags back out. But once they are on the feet, they are feeling pretty good. My right boot is a little bit more snug in the width than my left boot. I am not experiencing any heel slippage, and they do feel as though they are the right length, just a little bit snugger in the width of my right boot. And that little bit of a struggle to get them on, that honestly, it doesn't have anything to do with these Crush on Retro boots. That is a lot of engineer boots, because the ones that TJ shows you from the shop Vancouver are a very high-end engineer boot, and he still needed to use the plastic bag trick to get them on. So it's to be expected. Now, once you wear them and break them in, they are leather. They will stretch out and they will become much more pliable, and eventually you will be able to slide these on and off easily without the aid of plastic bags. But I'm sure for the first couple of wears, at least, we're going to have to use that little trick. And again, once my feet are in, they feel pretty good. Just a little bit snug in the width of my right foot, but the left boot is fitting just fine. Now, the overall look and aesthetic, I'm really, really digging it. Again, I love a a black engineer boot with the brown leather accents as opposed to being an all murdered out boot. I just think that looks a little bit too overkill to me. So for me, when I look down and I see a brown midsole, I just like the boot that much more. But as I'm pacing around here in the house, they're feeling pretty good. I don't have any complaints. Again, just test trying them on for the first time. We don't have any actual wear, so time will tell. But again, that little bit of a struggle getting them on, that is not something that is going to be specific to these Crush on Retro 301s. That is going to be any engineer boot. That could be a moderately priced $315 boot all the way up to a $1,200 John Lofgren boot. And I should add that the leather that these boots are made out of is a little bit stiffer than my last pair of Made in China boots, although those were Horween Chrome XL, which is an option for this particular boot. This being the cowhide, I think it might be a little bit thicker, so it's just going to take a little bit extra time to break in. So taking the boots off was a little bit easier than putting them on. The left boot was a lot easier to get off though, because I did kick the left boot off while I had the right boot on. And then once the left boot was off, I was trying to grip and kick the heel of the right boot off with my socked foot. Wasn't working too well, especially since the right boot was the one that was a little bit snug in the width. So my right foot was a little bit more stuck on my foot. So I should have done it the opposite way, but that's just the way I always take my shoes off. I don't even think about it. Before I realized what I was doing, I already had the left boot halfway off my foot, and then I got it off and I was like, yeah, I should have thought about this and did reverse. But just force of habit. It's the way I've been doing it for, I don't know, probably my entire life. But again, once they were on, they felt pretty good. The right boot was just a tiny bit snug in the width. They did feel like they were plenty long enough. I was not experiencing any heel slippage at all. So I think I'll be able to comfortably put these on and go to work and walk around the office all day. I would not be taking these on a long walk, not until they are fully broken in. But, you know, I think I can wear these to work all day long and be completely fine. But the T-Core leather, I'm hoping that this is going to age and brown up underneath this black really, really nicely. Because once black T-Core starts to kind of break into patina, it just looks awesome. So that's why I went with it. Now, the price point again, $315 on this boot. That's a really, really good introductory price for a pair of engineer boots. Again, only one of 2 companies I found that has an affordable entry-level boot for engineer boots. Now, I know they're not the most popular boot out there, but they are starting to gain popularity, at least in the menswear heritage wear realm. So I'm surprised that there aren't other options out there. I mean, there are some really, really nice boots in that like $600-700 price range, but if you're unsure if you are going to like an engineer boot, even if you have the means to buy it, you might not want to shell that $600 out on a pair of boots that you're not sure if you're going to want, because, you know, you hear a lot about the heel slippage. You're going to get heel slippage. And yeah, I've been wearing slip-on high-rise boots for a long time. I mean, one of my top 2 favorite pairs of boots is that pair of Double H Wellingtons up there, and I have another pair of Double H's up there. They're both like 20-year-old boots, and I've been wearing them a lot. Well, the ones on the end I wore a ton. They're due for a resole, but I've been wearing them for at least 20 plus years at this point. So it's just a thing. You kind of get used to it. But if you have too much heel slippage, you're going to get blisters. If the boot's too tight, you can't get it on. Case in point here, but it's not too tight once it's on, which means once the leather breaks in, it's going to fit pretty good. So you just use your little bit of a trick, put some plastic bags in there and slide the boot right back on. Now, if you think you're going to have to take your shoes off when you go someplace, throw some plastic baggies in your pocket, in your jacket, or in your bag, and take them with you. That way, if you take your boots off, you can get the boot back on easily. But yeah, so far, you know, middle of the road. I'm not going to say it's great. I'm not going to say it's bad. I haven't tested it out yet, but it looks good. Once it's on, it feels pretty good. So we are going to run this thing through the gamut, give it some tests, give it some wear. And we're going to see how it feels, how it fits, and how it looks after we do some real-world testing. So with that, if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.